It says I'm live. Now let's see. I hope we got plenty of volume here. That looks good. All righty. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for February 20th. What's going on with my TV set there? All right. Oh, I'm happy to be back live with you today. You may have been following along. We've been experiencing an incredible, hopefully once in a lifetime event with the polar vortex and record breaking cold here in Texas, complete with days in a row of power outages and single digit temperatures and frozen pipes. Somehow in our neighborhood, we might have flashed out for a little bit, but we right here in my little neighborhood, we didn't suffer extended power outages, and I've been able to keep the water running. So I'm going to try some laundry later today. So hopefully there's nothing broken out there. I have my little clock helps me see what time to hit that button. Anyway, we'll be above freezing here in a few minutes, and it's just going to get warmer now. So that's wonderful. So thank you for that moment. And now we'll get on with this day in history. February 20th is the 50. Let me scoot a little bit closer to the camera here. Here we go. February 20th is the 51st day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, with 314 days remaining to the end of the year, 315 in leap years. Today's word is pawn, P-A-W-N, pawn. Pawn is an interesting word with several very different meanings and can be either a noun or a verb. As a noun, pawn can refer to the most common chess piece or a similar piece in a similar game. Another meaning, as a noun, pawn can refer to someone who is being manipulated or used to some end. In this context, the word pawn comes from Middle English, where it meant pedestrian, Old French before that, where it meant foot soldier, and from Latin before that, where it evolved from a word that means foot. Pawn can also mean the state of being held as security for a loan or as a pledge, an instance of pawning something or an item given as security on a loan or as a pledge. As a verb, pawn can mean to pledge, to stake or wager or give as security on a loan of money, especially to deposit something at a pawn shop. And pawn shops, of course, are places where one can take items and either sell them outright for an outrageously low price or hand them over as collateral for a loan. Pawn. So now I'll take a moment to mention that links to my research are included in the show notes. I ask you to go ahead and click that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Remember that you can share this video with others with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. Also, there is a link in the show notes to my This Day in History playlist where you can see all of them if you want to. And I'll put the link to that playlist up in the iCards there as well. Now, for the first item, we had the word pawn already. For the first item, we're also going to talk about dowry, so a bonus word, if you will. Dowry is spelled D-O-W-R-Y, by the way, dowry, is an ancient custom described as a transfer of parental property to a daughter at her marriage, kind of like an early inheritance. In some times and some places, the husband's family might compensate the bride's family at marriage, but usually it's the bride's family providing the dowry. We don't see it so much in the US these days, but dowry systems are still in practice in other parts of the world. That said, on February 20th, 1472, Norway pawned Orkney and Shetland to Scotland as security against a dowry for Margaret of Denmark when she married King James III of Scotland. And I've got a map to show you where those are. Let's see here. Here's Norway, and here's Scotland, and England is below that. Here's Ireland over here. This right up here is Shetland, and here's Orkney, Orkney, Orkney and Shetland. Now, I was surprised to hear that they used to belong to Norway, but see where they are. They're right there. So that's not such an outrageous proposition. So, yeah, Norway pawned Orkney and Shetland to Scotland as a security against a dowry for Margaret of Denmark when she married King James III of Scotland. Now, eventually, these islands and archipelagos became part of Scotland because Norway presented them in lieu of a dowry, and they weren't able to come up with money for the dowry, so Scotland acquired Shetland and Orkney. Now, that is long enough ago that most of us didn't even know that these ever belonged to anyone but Scotland. So, 1472. All righty, moving on to the next item. On February 20th, 1547, Edward VI of England was crowned King of England at Westminster Abbey. February 20th, 1792, President George Washington signed the Postal Service Act, establishing the United States Post Office Department. Rossini's opera, The Barber of Seville, premiered at Teatro, Argentina in Rome on February 20th, 1816. And if you've been watching me for a while, you might wonder if I'm a little obsessed with earthquakes. Maybe. I recognize this possibility. But I'm going to tell you right now that on February 20th, 1835, there was an 8.5 magnitude earthquake in Chile, severe enough to trigger a tsunami. The Metropolitan Museum of Art opened in New York City on February 20th, 1872. And I talk a bit more about that in last year's episode, so I'll be sure to leave a link to that episode up in the corner there for you once the live is finished and we go to replay. Tchaikovsky's ballet, Swan Lake, received its premiere at the Bolshoi Theater in Moscow on February 20th, 1877. And I'm chuckling about that because when I was looking these items up, and for whatever reason, I dictate them, through, I don't even want to say her name, one of these personal assistant computer devices. And so I was dictating it, and for some crazy reason, I pronounced it ballot instead of ballet. So I had to correct that. It was Tchaikovsky's ballet, Swan Lake, received its premiere at the Bolshoi Theater in Moscow on February 20th, 1877. A little look inside my life. The legislature of Hawaii Territory convened for the first time on February 20th, 1901. This is the birthday of American photographer Ansel Adams, born February 20th, 1902. He's well known for his stunning black and white images of the American West. Ansel Adams died in 1984 at the age of 82. A 6.2 magnitude earthquake hit the Gori district in the Democratic Republic of Georgia. That's over on the other side of the planet, but I didn't pull a map up for that. On February 20th, 1920. Now, do you have Aldi stores where you live? I first encountered Aldi when I lived in New York. Well, we've got them here too, so Aldi. This is the birthday of Karl Albrecht, born February 20th, 1920. He was a German businessman who co-founded Aldi with his brother, Theo. Karl Albrecht died in 2014 at the age of 94. This is the birthday of actor Sidney Poitier, born February 20th, 1927. He has a remarkable filmography and is still alive. God bless him. He's currently the oldest living and earliest surviving Best Actor Academy Award winner. Sidney Poitier turns 94 in 2021. Miss Kitty from the TV show Gunsmoke, the actress Amanda Blake, was born February 20th, 1929. She played Miss Kitty from 1955 to 1974. Amanda Blake died in 1989 at the age of 60. The United States Emergency Broadcast System was accidentally activated in an erroneous national alert on February 20th, 1971. On February 20th, 1979, an earthquake cracked open a volcanic crater in Indonesia, releasing poisonous hydrogen sulfide gas, killing 149 villagers. On February 20th, 1986, the Soviet Union launched its Mir spacecraft, which remained in orbit for 15 years and was occupied for 10 of those years. February 20th was a busy day in history and also had a lot of interesting birthdays. Some that I mentioned last year that I didn't mention again this year, and still yet more to tell about. But that is going to do it for us right now. Hope you learned something you didn't know before. I know I sure did. I always do. As always, links to my research are included in the show notes, and I'll be sure to add that link to last year's video up in the corner there as soon as the live is done. And you can click over and watch that after a while. Let me just check my notes here. Playlist. Now, when I'm getting ready to do the live or when I've uploaded a recording, I post it to my personal Facebook page, and some of you, that's how you get here, I think. But I also post them on my blog, and there's a link to that in the show notes. Alrighty, I think we're just about done here. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with others with the link in your email messaging or social media. And I guess that's about it. So let's look for that thank you very much button. And I can say thank you so much.